I get it. You've been scrolling through endless listings of welding kits that promise pro-level performance and a complete solution, only to end up with a case full of parts that don't quite fit your shop or your day-to-day jobs. I've seen a lot of people buy a bundle because it looks tidy on the screen, then discover the machine is too heavy for a job site, the gun isn't compatible with the wire they already have, or the power requirements are a nightmare for a small garage. That hesitation is real, and it's what drove me to dig into the Miller Suitcase X-TREME 12VS ArcReach with the flux cord gun before hitting record. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, this isn't a loose collection of parts. Miller has packaged the XMT350 Field Pro system with its ArcReach technology into a single suitcase, and the idea is to give a mobile welder a ready-to-go setup that can handle both stick and flux cord processes. The suitcase itself is a hard case with a molded interior that cradles the power source, the Dura-Flux Gun, and a set of dual VK drive rolls that are reversible, meaning you can flip the feed direction without fiddling with the machine. The promise here is a compact, transportable kit that you can drop on a construction site or in a small shop and start welding within minutes. When I think about the typical buyer for a system like this, a few scenarios pop up. First, you have the contractor who jumps from one site to another and needs a welder that won't take up a whole trailer. Second, there's the small shop owner who wants to add flux cord capability without buying a separate generator and gun. Third, a hobbyist who's already got a stick welder but wants to experiment with flux cord wire for better penetration on thicker material. If you fit any of those boxes, the X-TREME 12VS could be a good match. If you're a full-time fabricator who runs a dedicated shop with permanent power, you might find the suitcase overkill and the 12-amp rating limiting. One of the practical strengths that shows up once you unpack the case is the ArcReach integration. The XMT350 has a built-in digital controller that lets you switch between stick and flux cord modes with a simple knob turn, and the machine automatically adjusts the voltage and current curves to suit the chosen process. In real-world use, that means less guesswork on the shop floor. I tried a 1/8-inch CH mild steel plate, set the machine to flux cord mode, and within a few seconds the torch was laying down a smooth, bead-like weld without the spatter you often get when you're dialing in a new wire. The Dura-Flux Gun's ergonomics are also worth noting. The trigger has a light pull and the gun's weight is balanced, which reduces fatigue during a 30-minute run on a roof truss. The reversible dual VK drive rolls are a clever addition that many portable welders skip. Normally you'd have to stop, flip the gun, and rethread the wire if you wanted to change feed direction. With the VK rolls, you can just press a button on the controller, and the feed reverses instantly. In a practical sense, that saved me a few minutes when I was welding a pipe joint that required the torch to travel back and forth without stopping the arc. It's a small time saver, but on a job where every minute counts, it adds up. Now, the hidden trade-offs. The first thing you'll notice is the 12-amp rating on the power source. Miller markets this as a 12VS unit, meaning it can handle up to 12 volts for stick welding, which translates to a lower welding current compared to a full-size 200-amp generator you might see in a stationary shop. For thin-sheet work and light to medium repairs, it's fine, but if you start tackling inch plate or need high amperage penetration for structural steel, you'll feel the limitation quickly. The machine will clamp down, and you'll either have to slow your travel speed or accept a weaker bead. Another practical downside is the power input requirement. The X-TREME draws a solid 120-volt supply, which most residential garages have, but on a true field job you'll need a generator that can provide a clean sine wave at sufficient amperage. Miller does include a short power cord, but you'll quickly discover you need a dedicated generator or a heavy-duty extension cord to avoid voltage drop. That adds to the overall cost and logistics, especially if you were hoping the suitcase alone would be the only piece of equipment you needed to move. The suitcase's durability is decent for the price point. It's a molded case with foam cutouts that keep each component snug. However, the handle on the case is a simple plastic grip. In my experience, after a few trips over uneven terrain, that grip started to feel a little loose. It's not a catastrophic failure, but if you're lugging this thing across construction sites every day, you might want to reinforce it with a strap or upgrade to a rugged rolling case. Value-wise, the Miller X-TREME 12VS bundles several